The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of providing an opportunity to the public to express themselves on school-related matters of concern to the residents of East Brunswick. To allow for a fair and orderly public comment period, and in accordance with Board Policy 167, individual comments are limited to 5 minutes. Members of the public are reminded that this is a public televised meeting of the Board of Education, and to protect the privacy of all students and staff, concerns regarding individual students and staff members should generally address by first meeting with the appropriate administrative staff according to New Jersey Statute 10412B. Is there anyone this evening that would like to address the board? If you can, just state your name and address.
My name is Dan Charleston, 7 Hemlock Court, East Brunswick. And I'm here today to oppose what Park and Common Core represent. I've been a lifelong resident of East Brunswick, and this is my first appearance to the board. My entire life, I've been a proud father of 5, 3 of which are in the current school system, 2 have graduated. My eldest son went on to be a history scholar at Seton Hall University and is currently a supervisor within the Princeton School District. My other son, after graduating from Temple, is in his final year in pursuit of his doctorate in physical therapy. So I have reasons to be proud. Proud of a school system that provided a solid foundation in the areas of academics, athletics, and social maturity. A school system that was built through the years by a strong core of teachers and administrators, past and present, some of which you honored tonight. By the way, I'm a graduate of 1978, if I did not mention that. A school system without Park and Common Core, a model, in my opinion, that was not broken. Unfortunately, good politics can result in bad policy and threaten the very system that my kids and I enjoyed. Park, emanating from the federally sponsored Race to the Top initiative, offered state governments grant money which was sorely needed following the financial crisis in 2008. In 2010, 26 states accepted agreeing to implement and invest in technology infrastructure. Big politics, big dollars, and big data, and a commoditization of our children would win for now. But fast forward 5 years, only 8 states remain, New Jersey included, from those early adopters. So I asked myself, why did those states exit? Why are the parents, teachers, and academics, the NJEA, and many other groups opposing Park and what it stood for? Why did Bridgewater-Raritan School Board of Ed unanimously oppose? And why was Princeton High School Park participation rate so anemic? Why are the teachers from surrounding towns speaking out in opposition? If Park is so great, then why is it dying a slow death? So through my due diligence, I've discovered, and some of my own general concerns over Park and Common Core are as follows. I'm concerned that our local school system is slowly losing academic control to the federal government. I'm concerned over a platform that promotes reduced instructional time in the classroom, further alienating our teachers. I'm concerned that Park's mission is flawed, and it dictates teachers to teach to a test, creating a robotic classroom atmosphere. I'm concerned that Park Test itself was poorly designed, whose users find its computer technology cumbersome for 11th graders, let alone 3rd graders. I'm concerned that Park and Common Core treat kids and teachers as if they are commodities. Here's what I think we should be doing. We should be taking back academic control at the classroom level, which centers on teacher creativity. We should be increasing classroom instructional time, not reducing it, which embraces and encourages the student-teacher dialogue. We should be following sound academic policy that is initiated and adopted here at the local level. I would summarize as follows. Park, to me, just doesn't pass the smell test. Like I said, this is my first appearance, and I've been around a long time. I've been in front of other boards. I've served on university foundations. I spent 30 years on Wall Street, and I got to tell you, this just doesn't pass the smell test. It's rooted in poor academic policy, whose mission is flawed. It's why 18 states before us have exited, and it's why the Bridgewater Board of Ed unanimously opposed. The old model was not broken, as my older kids are a testament to. So I would ask, let's keep the future bright for our kids and for the East Brunswick school system as a whole. Our kids, our teachers in East Brunswick are far from commodities. I just know we can do better. And I would ask the board to reevaluate its position on Park and the Common Core, analyze its mission, see if it truly aligns with the East Brunswick School District's goals. With that, I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Dr. Conant,
Yes.
question from Mr. Giacobbe. Do we have any discretion to, as a board, to do anything about this?
No, it's a state mandated test. I mean, as you know, there's been numerous opt-outs. Parents do have the right to opt their children out of it. But it is a state mandate, and it's a mandate that, until the state legislature decides, and right now there are actually various bills and different groups looking at it, but there's nothing we can do until our legislature acts.
Let's hope they do the right thing. Well, I agree with the last speaker, so. Thanks.
Is there anybody else? Again, name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Jody Hoover. I reside at 8 Highview Road. My husband and I have 2 children attending East Brunswick Public Schools, one at the high school and one at Hammersholt. I'm here this evening to share with you the impact that Park's implementation has had on my child's school year thus far. I've chosen to focus my testimony this evening on our 6th grader's experience, who happens to be here tonight, primarily because if we don't change course, she has another 6 years of this ahead of her. Thankfully, our 10th grader is nearly done. My daughter informed me the weekend before her grade was scheduled to take the park that students were told that they would not need their backpacks or books during the week of testing. I found it hard to believe, but sure enough, off she went to and from school for 5 days with nothing more than her lunch and school ID. Because the park is administered on computers, students can't all test at the same time. So at Hammersholt, testing took 1 week to administer per grade. Since the school is comprised of 2 grades, that equated to 2 full weeks of testing, plus another week for makeups. The test appears to have taken students about an hour to complete per day. It's what took place during the remaining hours each day that week that concerns me as a parent. My daughter came home each day and told us about the movies. She and her friends, classmates, watched Shrek 1, 2, and 3, to name a few. She received no educational instruction in any of her classes for 5 days. Equally troubling is that students were denied access to their library and computer lab during these 3 weeks because testing was being administered in those areas. So these valuable resources were off limits to students. And we recently learned, because of the time that Park requires, our science teachers have had to decide which unit to eliminate from their curriculum because there just isn't enough time for them to cover everything this year as planned. And as if once a year isn't disruptive enough, a second round of Park awaits us in just a few weeks. By the end of June, my child will have spent 2 full weeks of her school year receiving no educational instruction and a minimum of 6 weeks without access to her school library. This doesn't even take into account the hours of classroom instruction that have already been lost, so students could learn how to take the test and to participate in practice Park tests. But administrators at the local and the state level still want us to believe that the Park has not negatively impacted curriculum, and it's simply the new NJ ask. Clearly, this is not the case. No test, not even a good one, should be this intrusive and consuming. The Park and the side effects from it are nothing like the standardized tests that we all took in school when we were children. It is in itself contradictory to what school is about. We have amazing teachers, honored many tonight. It was actually really nice to be here tonight to witness that. I'm indebted to them, for they have guided and provided my children with a stellar education. It appears that their jobs are changing because public schools are changing. Our main focus is no longer on the individual student, but rather the school's collective score on a high-stakes standardized test. They say actions speak louder than words, and by all accounts, it appears that our district's most important goal this year has been Park, and anything else came second to it. This way of thinking does not support East Brunswick's reputation for being a standout district in our state.
1 minute.
I've shared our experience with you not to complain, but to start a conversation. Your role is a critical one, now more than ever, in the face of these reforms. And my role as a parent is as well, which is why I'm here. My daughter will not get these years of schooling back, so we need to get it right. I don't believe that any of this was your vision for East Brunswick schools. If you disagree with what's taking place, please use your collective voices and say so. I have seen what other local boards have done in response to this loss of local control and this new high-stakes, test-focused approach that has been forced on us. I've brought with me samples of such resolutions that have been passed, if you're interested in reading them. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody like to approach the Board of Ed this evening?